it's a catch-22. You know, you can't like get the quality work you want unless you have that quality work. But how do you get that quality work without someone giving you the chance? So it's almost like you kind of have to do it for free and prove that you can do it before people are like, okay, it's worth taking the risk.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast, which is now being called the Pre-Pro Podcast, presented by SPLYCEHOUSE, hosted by yours truly, Bill Parmentier of Old Storm Studios. Today's episode has my friend and colleague and oft mentor, Jake Huber, back.
Wow.
I don't know. I never look to you for advice.
Okay, good.
But our guest today is none other than Jake's brother, Adam Huber, YouTuber.
Hi, guys.
Hi,
How's it
Adam. How are
going?
you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Excellent.
Awesome.
Jake, how are you?
I'm great.
Great. Glad to hear it.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So today's guest, Adam Huber, he is not only a professional director, producer, cinematographer, photographer, editor. Would you consider yourself a professional editor as well? I mean, you get paid to do it sometimes.
Yeah, I guess that makes you a professional if you get paid to do something,
Yeah.
right? Enough times.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also an actor,
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Rarely.
And then also, probably something you should be most proud of is your Jake's brother.
I'm very proud of that.
That's what I'm proud of.
This is really...
That he's my brother.
Yes. So I don't want to talk about the industry. I want to talk about your relationship. Okay. This is really just a therapy session.
Okay.
I
So
need it.
we're going to go real deep.
We need it.
So when you were children,
Yes.
tell me about a traumatic experience. No. All right. So Adam,
Yes.
we mentioned you wear many hats and you've had
do.
many jobs over the years. Give me a nickel tour of your history in media and sort of where you first found that spark and why you wanted to get into this industry and do what you do.
Okay. Well, I won't touch on the many different types of hats I have because I do have a good collection of hats myself.
Metaphorical hats,
okay.
please.
I knew pretty young when I was about 11 years old. I wanted to get into this biz. It was a fifth grade teacher that inspired me. We were doing a Civil War project, and she said for our presentation, we could either give a speech, we could put together a little tabletop like diaphragm or diaphragm?
Diaphragm?
Not a diaphragm. That's something totally different.
Diorama.
Diorama, thank you. Diaphragm is completely the wrong word.
This
there.
isn't, and it wasn't anatomy class.
No.
Okay.
No, we could do, she said we could put together a bunch of different things. We could give a presentation. We could read a speech. We could make a movie. We could do, and of course, my brain goes, wait, we could make a movie? I didn't know that was an option. So I quickly finished my paper that I was writing. I used the first paragraph. I went to my grandfather. I said, Grandpa, I want to make a movie, but I want music underneath, and I want to read my speech on top of it. Can we find some sort of Civil War song? He's like, let's find the Battle Hymn of the Republic. So we went to the library. We got this old record, and he was able to help me like mix it together with me reading into a little tape recorder.
Wow.
And then we mixed the battle hymn underneath enough. Like, I don't know how we did it with a different speaker playing and just turned down the volume. But we were able to get that in. And then I got my dad to take his little high 8 camera out to the woods I had already scouted. I put my neighbors in some gray outfits with belts. My brother in like blue jeans and a blue shirt. Borrowed my neighbor Ian's little Daisy pop rifles, and we went down, and Jake and Eric basically were shooting each other with these little pop rifles, recreating the Battle of Gettysburg, and I was sword fighting in the background with, of course, my Kindle sticks. And
was there a lot of sword fighting in the Civil War?
Listen, we were out of rifles. It was the only option.
Prop budget was low.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we didn't really have a budget for
budgetary
this.
limitations. I understand.
My mom was playing the cassette with my speech at the very end of it, or throughout the whole piece. So you have the soundtrack going on held right next to the camera while my dad's shooting it. And we're just all enacting this thing. And when my speech ends, we're all supposed to run to the center. This is my excellent directorial debut. I'm like, everybody run to the middle and kill each other at the exact same time. We all die. I'm probably like 9, 10 years old, and we all die at the same moment. And I'm like, Dad, fade up to the sky, and we'll play when the Saints come marching home or something. I don't. That's the Battle of Gettysburg.
I bet if you were to ask a historian about that, it'd be
Pretty accurate.
very accurate.
Yes. But it inspired me to like keep daydreaming and keep thinking of more ideas. And by the time I got to middle school, I'm like, well, I want to do this. I want to learn acting though, so I know how to direct actors. So I started acting. Decided by junior, senior year, I'm like, I don't really want to do acting professionally. What inspired me to do this was the Civil War project I worked on. So
In fifth grade.
yeah, in 5th grade. So I went to film school with you, Bill, and the rest is history.
That's right. Yeah, we did go to Webster University, home of the Corlocks.
Corlocks.
But you were a couple years behind me.
I was a
class,
couple
right?
years
Yeah.
behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After film school, you're thinking about what to do with your career. Like, what's your next move? What did you want to do at the time? And how did you work your way to get to do what you want to do?
I mean, I knew when I was in 5th grade I liked directing, but when I got to film school, I realized, I'm like, I think I like cinematography. So I really started to pursue that and try to work on as many projects, like shooting, as I could. But of course, I was writing. You have to write some of your own projects and do some of your own things. So that bug was still there. And of course, as soon as I graduated, 2008, the recession happened. Work was really slow.
Yeah.
Everything dried up. And that's when, you try to PA on anything you can. But it's a struggle to get work. And I just remember there was this one DP on this Anheuser-Busch commercial who was such a, let's just say he wasn't the best representative for the industry, and I didn't like him. Him coupled with a couple other reality show DPs just turned me off from
Real Sons of Guns.
Sons of Guns, turned me off from like pursuing cinematography. And I'm like, you know what? I like directing, and I'd rather be in charge of these guys.
It's funny that I feel like that's happened to everybody. Like you want to do something or like to have a certain role or a certain job, and you work with a couple of people who just really turn you off from that. I mean, have you ever worked with anybody like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. I don't want to get into any specific stories or really. Yeah, but
I want to name
totally,
names.
No, I totally know what you're saying, and there's, that's why, we always say like, don't be an asshole and make cool shit, like.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you make an impact on where you go. So anyway.
I mean, a side note, like being an asshole in this industry, it may get you like short-term success because you may seem like a hot shot to clients or something, but it doesn't work in the long term. No,
It
you
never
gotta
does.
you gotta chill out.
And I was grateful. I did have some really fantastic cinematographers like Nick Gartner, who was my role model when we were doing Meet Bill. He brought me on the Street Ballers and everything, and I was a camera assistant. I thought I was going to work my way up as a camera assistant to a DP. That was my goal. I'm like, and I was getting a lot of work as a camera assistant and was starting the camera op, more jobs. But there was just a couple of reality shows and a couple of commercials that just kind of made me go, and the recession, that I'm like, I want to direct, and one of the best ways to do this is to just start making spec pieces. And then that's when I discovered Pop Tent and these Doritos commercials,
Yeah.
which you
almost
played
forgot
a
about that.
huge part of.
I
Bill.
can't wait
because-
to show clips of Bill laying in the bed with Pizza Hut pizza and a robe on. We're gonna show that. So if you're listening, you won't see it, unfortunately.
Roll that beautiful
Yeah,
pizza
let's
footage.
see it. Ooh, yeah, there it is.
No, Bill, you were in so many of these video contests that Pop Tent didn't last more than 5 years.
So for those who don't know, back in the early teens, I guess.
It was like 2009 through
Yeah.
2014.
The late aughts into the teens, there were a few online contests where you could make, brands would go to these websites and say, hey, we're Doritos. We want to spend as little money as possible to get a commercial for our brand. And so they would go to a place like Pop Tent and say, put up a contest that says, make a commercial for Doritos. And then people would sign up for that, like you and me, and we would submit a commercial that we made from scratch for like no money. Or some people spend a lot of money on that
Right.
stuff.
The prize was like $10,000.
Yeah.
Or
if you
five,
want $5,000 or $10,000, and then you're competing against 100 videos maybe.
Oh, yeah. Hundreds, maybe.
Hundreds?
Dozens, hundreds, of other submissions. So it wasn't likely that you would win, but turns out you won a couple of them, didn't you?
More than a couple.
I believe I won 8
Wow.
and placed as a finalist in 12.
And this is how Adam found his career.
Yes.
But this is like the first
Rolling
one.
the dice.
First one I remember doing was just the Doritos commercial, and I showed it to all of you guys. And in my head, I'm like, this is gonna be perfect. Oh my gosh, Sean talking to like you as a talking Dorito bag, and Paul Getz as a talking Dorito bag. And I remember Jeff Daniels and Tim Maupin were just like, I don't know, it feels a little weird but I'm like, in my head, I'm like, it's gonna be perfect, guys. And I spent a month just learning After Effects and rotoscoping and puppeteering all of you guys as like talking bags, and I showed it to everyone, and everyone's just like, I remember my dad saying, he's like, maybe you should just stick to having somebody else write stuff for you. And I was like, no, I can do this. I was just like, I mean, it's that whole, you put all your eggs in one basket and you're just like met with defeat, and it's like, do you give up or do you just like?
So you didn't win that one.
Oh no.
Okay.
Although I will say this,
I was gonna say
it was such a weird idea. I remember a couple years later seeing a Frito-Lay commercial with a talking bag, very similar to what we did, and I'm like, and in the contract that Doritos had, it said if you're any ideas you submit become our ideas. So I was like, whether some writer at Frito-Lay had that idea or not, or just saw that commercial, like, that's freaking weird, but we could do it our own way. Either way, I was happy with how it turned out, and happy I learned and I think that's the key to it. Like, try, fail, do again.
So the lesson is, to get ahead in this business, you just give away all your best ideas.
Yeah, but
right?
if you think freelance is unstable, try Pop Tent, right? Because it's like you're just throwing darts, at a
You're
wall.
taking chances. But the way I looked at it, the way any director or even cinematographer or production company, we were talking about a few earlier, it's a catch-22. You can't like get the quality work you want unless you have that quality work. But how do you get that quality work without someone giving you the chance? So it's almost like you kind of have to do it for free and prove that you can do it before people are like, okay, it's worth taking the risk. I mean, we did this with the Blues, and that was my mindset behind doing all these video contests. I'm like, I need to build a reel. Spec commercials I would have to do anyway. If there's a chance I could do one and win some money to do the next one, And it happened to be that after Doritos, the next one was Snickers. And I did take some advice. I brought my buddy Ryan Dorison to help write that and direct that with me, remember? Yeah. And we won that one.
Yeah.
We won that one. So maybe it's true I'm not the best writer, but
turkey.
I still don't get that line. I mean, I get it, but like, I think it was a waste of a punchline at the end, but that's just me.
Hey, we won.
We won.
What difference does it make?
It doesn't matter. It was still great. And I also learned a lot while doing that, because the joke was the ball would fly, hit the TV, fall, and crash. And I remember editing it. Ryan was pretty busy. He came by to watch it, and he's like, it's just not playing. But in my head, I'm like, it's going to work. The sound design is so important here. He's like, I just can't hear it. I'm like, I can hear it. I need certain whooshes and sounds happening at certain times. Just give me time to like design this and make it work. It's like he came back after working a reality show, and he laughed out loud. He's like, I don't know what you did, but it's working. And I'm like, I just kept working the sounds until like it made me laugh while editing it.
Yeah.
It's so key. Like so much of filmmaking is more than just like the visual gag. I mean, the sounds, the editing, the pacing, the timing, it all having and learning by trial and error how that all fits together is so key.
All good points you're making, even from a personal brand all the way to a business brand, is some people would say, like, don't work for free. Like, I've heard people say that. And I think there's two different ways. You could, working for free when people are just asking you to come join and it's not something you want to do is different than coming up with ideas and trying to create and learn and grow and having full creativity. That's still working for free, but you're working for yourself. So how else are you going to build experience and build your own brand and your portfolio? That's the only way to do it. Rarely is somebody going to pay you a full rate when you're just starting,
Yeah.
So
I think it depends on which path you want to take. Like if you mentioned being like you wanted to come up through the camera department system,
right,
and like be an AC and then a loader, then a second, then a first, then a cam op and DP. But like that's one path you can take to sort of work your way up the ranks and make more money and do more cool projects. But like you can also just start doing everything yourself and take your fate into your own hands and end up as an Adam Heber.
There are a million ways of doing everything, and there's a million ways to get to every different position. Some directors come from the photography world. You have to direct talent, and you get good at that, and you have those clients, and you can shift into video. A lot of directors come from the world of editorial. They're editors. They understand pacing so well that they can shift easily. A lot of cinematographers come from the art department world or the ad agency world. There's a lot of different ways to get to every position. So I think it's just putting in the work and gaining the experience. However you get there, it doesn't matter. As long as you're learning, growing, and moving forward, that's what matters.
I think that's what's exciting about this industry is that you can end up anywhere by starting anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's not so linear.
No.
You can move to the side. You can change departments. You can change, you could be in production, then move to advertising.
Absolutely.
It's like you can do whatever you want.
You can be in advertising and move to production.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've known people that have done that. So
you can be waiting tables and become an actor.
Yeah. Yes.
I hear that's pretty common.
Yes. That's actually the one linear path to take.
Yeah.
It's the only path to
start at a nice restaurant, then you're in the next Avengers movie.
Unless you're the daughter or son of some famous actor. And
then
like you can make a movie and it goes to Cannes.
Hey, that's another path. Marry into the right family.
That's true
right,
too.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a million ways to do it.
The easiest way is just to be born rich. I think.
That's the simple. Yeah.
Right.
Just be born rich and you're given given everything that start whatever company you want.
All right, so much like us, we worked in all sorts of like commercials and reality TV and stuff like, and then you got into making these commercial contests. You won a few of them, so you got a little bit of wind underneath your wings at this point.
Right.
What are you in your mid to late 20s at this point, or what?
I think I was in my mid to late 20s. I was doing the video commercial world. I was still working as a camera assistant, a camera operator.
Got to make a living.
I was making a living. I was starting to get work. I was sending out all this work to production companies, hearing a lot of promising, you have potential, not yet, from all the different production companies, trying to market myself as a director. Until one finally gave me a shot with McDonald's commercial, and I did a spot for Ruckus for McDonald's, a Mother's Day spot, and
you were still freelancing at the time.
I was freelancing at the time. This might have been 2013, 14. Got a couple more spots, and I had the opportunity to take a full-time job for a YouTube channel. And I'm like, even if I do this for a year, I'll gang 100 different spots that I can put on my reel. So I hopped on board and stuck around for 7 years. And I think I have over 700 or 800 different commercials I've directed. Many that went viral or hit over 1 million.
Most of them were viral, probably.
I mean, viral is such a broad term these days. Like, what is viral?
Pretty much all of them were over 1 million views, right?
That doesn't necessarily mean it's viral.
That sounds like viral to me.
Well, I did some quick math.
Yes.
And it's easily in the hundreds of millions of views. All the videos that you did at VAT19.
VAT19, yeah.
Yeah. Which, for those who don't know, is an online store that sells all kinds of wacky, crazy stuff. But their claim to fame is this very impressive YouTube channel where they make all kinds of wacky videos about wacky products.
I believe when you were there, were they not number 2 as a branded content on YouTube?
I don't know where they're at.
Lego?
I haven't really kept up on
but that,
them.
No,
but
I'm talking
at the
about
time,
when
they
you
were
there.
like the most popular, second most popular branded YouTube channel in the world, behind Lego. So,
one person in front of them, Lego. That's crazy.
Never heard of them.
They're here, and they're right here in St. Louis. That's what, and most people don't know that. That's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was an amazing experience. I had a great family of coworkers, and we created some really awesome content, from commercials to giant build videos to just wacky, random React videos. So,
yeah, the type of content that you made just kind of ran the gamut of like what's fun to watch, what's interesting to watch. It's not just like, here's the product, here's how it works, and we're having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you did like all kinds of different styles of videos on that just to get views and to get clicks and people to go. Right.
Yeah.
So you spent 7 years at VAT19
Yep.
and honing your skills, racking up, hundreds of videos.
I think
hundreds of millions of views.
I think one of the most successful videos I got to direct and write there might be one of the most popular on the channel, which I'm honored by. I think it's at 300 million or something like that.
It's just a TikTok, right?
It's a TikTok. But yeah, for the last year I was there, I started doing TikToks and kind of really got to start learning that platform and the short form as well. And when Jake came to me and he's like, I want to start a company, I'm like, yes, let's do it.
So, Adam, now that you have joined forces with your overlord brother here at Splice House, we all know he's the boss. Now that you guys have got you're combining all your powers like Voltron, where do you see this going? I mean, what sort of, I guess, positive things are you looking forward to?
I think we've had an amazing year so far. We've done some really cool stuff. We've gotten some really awesome clients, amazing clients to work for. Done some big projects, some small projects, some very creatively fulfilling projects, some with you. You've been a part of.
Best ones, I'd say.
The best ones. And I'm excited to keep it growing and keep it going. I would love to do a feature film someday with Splice. I think that'd be awesome. I'd love to do some even bigger projects with bigger budgets and even bigger cameras and small cameras. I want to do it all.
Because the size of the camera is what matters.
It's not what you do with the camera. It's the size of the camera.
Size matters.
Yeah. Well, Adam, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Your brother produces.
Splice House produces.
I honestly cannot believe we landed Adam Huber.
Oh my gosh.
What a get.
Wow.
What a huge get. Wow.
Well, we are paying him, so.
Yeah. $50,000 just to sit in this chair.
Woo.
For an hour.
Heck yeah.
What a deal.
Oh my gosh.
I'd say that's a smoking deal.
Wow. Smoking.
All right. So thanks, Adam. Appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Thanks, Bill.
I look forward to many more projects with you.
Likewise.
No.
You've been a great
and one
sport.
more with you, Jake.
One more.
Yeah.
This is the last one.
This is it. Yeah. Thank you. Everybody, thank you for tuning in, listening, and watching the Pre-Pro podcast presented by Splice House, hosted by Bill Parmentier and myself from Old Storm Studios. Appreciate the listen. Subscribe, please, if you can, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Love you.